What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Topic of Discussion. I am your host, Miles Bear. Without further introduction, let's get right into it. So recently I have been feeling under the weather. That's why I haven't been posting any videos, but I'm back. I'm feeling better. And through that time, I was like, you know what? I need to start creating a schedule that I'm posting on certain days because it needs to be more structured, more orderly, and that everybody that's watching, the audience, can be more engaged and in my videos. And I feel like to do that, it needs to be some type of consistency going on where you can start expecting, okay, he's going to post on this day or he's going to post on these days, so I can be looking forward to it. So I'm going to work on that and I'm going to get that done. With that said, the topic for today is titled Accepting Your Reality. And I know I can't remember what episode it was, but it was recently. I had posted a video that was titled Don't You Settle. And that was basically going over not settling with where we are right now in our life, because a lot of times when we're going through hard times, we tend to settle and we start accepting the pain that we're going through. We start accepting where we are and saying, you know what, maybe this is where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I wasn't supposed to do that. Maybe this is exactly where I need to be in my life. And you start accepting somewhere that you don't want to be. You start accepting the pain. You start accepting the hurt. You start accepting being complacent, right? And once you start to accept those things, you start to create a lifestyle around it. And you start to create a lifestyle around an area that you didn't want to be in or a place that you didn't want to be in your life. So now you're going throughout your life and you're trying to build a happy life on top of pain, right? You start to try to build a happy life on top of hurt, on top of not getting through the things that you had to face in your life. And it's difficult. It's hard to live, or it's hard to build a life on top of hard times, hardships, pain, loss. Because I'm saying that because it's hard to build on top of those things when you never got through them. It's a difference when you get through these things in your life and you say, okay, now I'm going to start building. But once you start to try to build on top of pain, on top of hurt, on top of agony, on top of frustration, it's really hard to build. I'm not going to say it's impossible because I've seen it, but the road to success, the road to happiness, taking that path is a lot longer. And I feel like you go through a lot more trials and tribulations than if you would have got through that in your life and accepted your reality as you was going through that pain, as you was going through that hardship, as you was going through that loss. And using that topic of don't you settle and accepting my reality today, I want to kind of tie them in together. And I chose this topic of accepting your reality because to move on to this next chapter in our life, to move on to the best version of ourselves, to move on to joy, happiness, surrounded by good people, like minded people, we have to accept the reality of where we are, right? So we know where we want to be, right? A lot of us know where we want to be. We know what we want out of life, and some of us don't, but some of us do, right? If you're still trying to figure it out, that's totally fine. Doesn't matter your age. But when you know where you want to be in your life, you tend to want to jump from pain to happiness, right? From pain to happiness, to frustration to happiness, to going through loss and crying your eyes out to happiness, right? The sun's always glowing on you. This is the best day of my life, and so on and so forth, right? We all want to get to that stage in our life, but at the same time, it's a process, and along the process or along the journey to get there, we have to accept our reality. And accepting our reality is not settling, right? And I want to make that clear to everybody. So that's how I'm tying it back into don't you settle, because we're not settling in this. We're just accepting our reality. And again, let me break that down. We're accepting where we are. We're not accepting this place as in we're going to be here our entire life, or we're never going to turn the next chapter or the next page in our life or in our book of life. We're just accepting where we are. And this is part of the journey to move forward. Because when we're going through pain and we're going through frustration, we're going through a lot of feelings and a lot of trying to figure out what we want to do in our life, trying to figure out our relationship with God, trying to figure out our relationship with our spouse, our girlfriend, our boyfriend, just trying to figure life out, we tend to want to jump from here to here. But we're forgetting this middle stage. And this middle stage is accepting where we are. And accepting where we are is accepting this version of myself, right? And understanding that, yes, this is not where I want to be right now in my life. I know that. And I'm not going to settle here. But at the same time, for me to move forward, I have to get in tune with this version. This is not the past version, and this is not the future version. This is the version that's going through whatever I'm going through in my life. Everything that I'm going through in my life, this is the version of me. And I have to accept this version of me, and I have to understand how to move forward with this version of me. I'm not saying I'm always going to be this version. I'm not always going to be this person. I'm never going to heal. I'm never going to be a joyful version of me if that was me in my past, or I'm never going to reach joy. I'm never going to reach happiness. I'm never going to reach financial stability. I'm never going to reach just an all around great life. Yes, I am going to do that. But at the same time, I have to accept where I am to move forward and to move to each and every single one of those things. And accepting where you are right now is basically saying that you have to get in tune with your emotions. So a lot of times we tend to people that go through pain, you might see them drink, you might see them smoke, you might see them every time that you try to bring up the conversation about how they feel, they never want to talk about their feelings, or you never want to talk about your feelings, or whatever the case is. You have to get in tune with your emotions, and you have to get in tune with addictions. You have to get in tune with problems that you're facing in your life and things that are hindering you from moving forward, right? Because we know what we want to be, but at the same time, just because we know where we want to be, there's steps to get there. And the biggest step that you're going to have to take is getting in tune with yourself and accepting this version of yourself. Because a lot of times, like I said before, when we go through pain, we're going through hard times, we don't want to accept this version because this is not our best version. This is the part of us that's going through pain. This is the part of us that's experiencing loss. This is the part of us that's experiencing a lot of emotions. This is the part of us that's experiencing addiction. This is the part of us that's experiencing um just not being in tune with ourselves. So we don't want to accept this person. We don't want to accept this version of ourselves. We hate the image that we see when we look in the mirror. We hate this version. We hate this version. We hate this version. Right? But I want us to get in tune with this version. I want us to start taking time to learn who we are. Not understand. I mean, let me take that back. Not learn where you want to be, but learning who you are now in your present, this present version of yourself. Take time to write things down. Take time to write how you feel down. If it's hard for you to express yourself, start to figure out ways that you can express yourself. Some people can express themselves through instruments, writing, poetry, journals, whatever it is that you need to do to express yourself. Do that because you need to get in tune with your emotions. Getting in tune with your emotions is not, oh, okay, he's soft now, or she's soft, or she's always crying, or she's always in her feelings. No, get in tune with your emotions so you can move past this stage in your life. This is only a stage, this is only a chapter. But if you never accept this chapter, you're not going to be able to turn to the next chapter. You're never going to be able to move on because you never accepted this version of yourself right here. The version of yourself that was going through pain, the version of yourself that was hurting. There's light on the other side, there's happiness on the other side, there's joy on the other side, yes. But it's a process to get there, and this is part of the process. This may be part of the process that's kind of the worst part for some people, the hardest part for some people. But this is part of it. And I want each and every single one of us to take time to learn this version of yourself and of ourselves. Take time to understand the things that you like now. The things that you like might be totally different. What you're into, what you're looking for when you're looking for a relationship, how you want to move forward, the people that you want to surround yourself by. Your perspective of the world could have changed. So take time to understand what you like, what you don't like, create boundaries, create a foundation to stand on, create how you want to view yourself going forward. And what does that life look like? What does that life look like? So as you think of those things, as you think of those things, what life looks like moving forward, understand what life looks like right now. And take time to understand, am I taking the correct steps to get to where I'm trying to go? Am I in tune with my emotions the way that I want to be in tune with my emotions moving forward? Right? Because it's going to be difficult to get to that next step in your life if you're not taking the steps to get to that next step in your life. So there's beauty, there's joy, there's happiness all right here inside of you. But you have to see it in yourself. You have to see it in yourself, and I promise you it gets better. Sometimes, and for some of us, we're going through the hardest times in our lives. The hardest times, the most stressful times. Some of us are dealing with loss. Some of us are dealing with divorce. You guys hear me go through these things all the time of different types of pain and different types of troubles we could be going through in our life. But accept where you are now, to get in tune with your emotions, to get in tune with your boundaries that you want to set, to get in tune with the guardrails that you want to build, and get in tune with the path that you want to walk with God, or get in tune with the path that you want to walk for yourself. Just get in tune with this version of yourself so you can take that walk forward. I don't want to be too long today, but I just want you to take that with you forward. And I want you after this video to take time to understand your emotions and understand who you are right now. Forget your past. Your past is your past. Your past is your past. And you can't keep holding your past over this current version of yourself because you're never going to move on from your past. And you got to stop hindering you moving forward. Just because you're going through these times right now, you can move forward. But you have to want to get out of this situation. And sometimes we know that we want to get out, but we just don't know how. But the how is right here. The how starts with you. Everything in your life starts with you. So take time to understand yourself today and take time to understand how you want to be the best version of yourself moving forward. This has been topic of discussion. I'll be back with some more videos, but this was just something to think about and make the right decision. Your life is in your hands, and don't destroy your life because you're scared to move forward. Don't live your life under fear. Topic of discussion, Miles Berry out.